Hey, what's going on, guys? So my name is Ippei. I've been making money on the internet since 2014. For the last few years, I've been making multiple seven figures online, and I did it all without being a YouTuber. Recently, I'm starting to make YouTube content, but I made my money by building and ranking websites in Google, doing SEO and lead generation. And Andrew Tate has a lot of advice about how to make money on the internet, and on a lot of subjects, he knows what he's talking about. But on some subjects, I feel like there's some knowledge that's missing. So today I'm going to react to Andrew Tate explains 4 ways you can make money. And I'm going to give my 2 cents through my 8 years of experience of making money online. Some points where he might be falling short, some points that I might agree with. All right, so I'm going to start from the beginning.
There are four main ways to getting money. You either trade your time for money, you trade information for money.
If you trade time for money, yes, that's the main way most people make money. Ideally, you want a high income skill. You can trade time for money. One of the best ways, if you don't want to go the college path and get a 9 to 5 job in the corporate world, one of the best ways, the skill that you can learn to trade time for money is learning sales, selling high ticket products for other people.
You give a product or a service for money, or you put something to work for money. I'll say that again. We're going to go through them one by one. These are the main ways that money will arrive in your bank account. Remember what I just told you guys, the four main things about cash, how it works, how you gotta attack it, identify where it's moving, etc. These are the four main ways money is made. First is time for money. Now this is what most jobs are. And there's nothing wrong with a job. A lot of people are gonna come and say, quit your job. No, there's nothing wrong with having a job. And it's better than doing nothing. But this is the first level. This is the first level on how to make money. So what you do when you have a job is you give up your time to get some cash. So a guy will say, if you stand here all day, I'll give you X amount of money. And you agree. You give up your time to make money. The problem with giving up your time to make money is what? Who knows the problem with giving up your time to make money? I'll tell you the problem. The problem is you only have a certain amount of time. It's very difficult to get rich if you give up your time for money because you have a certain amount of time. You need to sleep, you need to eat, you got other stuff to do. You haven't got the time to sit there and get rich that way. So time for money is great, and obviously the more valuable your time is, the better. That's fine, you can make more. But you still have a finite amount of time. And this is the problem with trading your time for money. Next is information for money. Now the good thing about getting information for money is that your time is not explicitly linked. So if you do something like a video giving information, that one video, you can film it one time, but it can be given out or sold a million times, and you get paid every single time.
This is what I like to call leveraging media. So you film a piece of content such as this, you can replay it over and over again. The internet doesn't sleep. One piece of content can generate traffic and money for you for years and years to come. And that's how you get ahead in life, is you learn how to leverage media or code. Code is like creating a website that makes money for you time and time again. So in our coaching program, we teach people how to create local lead generation websites that make passive income on a monthly basis for years and years to come.
But your time is no longer linked to the money. So a lot of people make money purely on information. And it can be done lots of ways. It can be done with what I'm doing right now. I'm making money based on what I know right now. I am selling information to you people.
Another way to make money with selling information that most people might not necessarily think about is if you create a local lead generation website that generates leads for small business, you're also selling information. You're essentially selling a lead, which is a customer information, right? A website link ranks for a keyword, let's just say junk removal in San Francisco. People that are needing junk removal finds my website. They fill in a lead opt-in form, or they call the tracking phone number, and the call or the lead gets rerouted to my client, and my client pays me for every lead that I generate. I essentially just sold information, the customer's information. Now, the customer information, what are other businesses that are selling customers information for massive amounts of profit, right? Basically that's Facebook, Google, and all these like tech companies, social media platforms. They are selling your information for profit. And there's a quote that said, customer information or selling information or customer information is the new oil. That's how profitable it is for these tech companies to sell customer data. And that is more of a Trojan horse, more of a, I don't want to say quite sneaky, but in a lot of ways, it is sneaky way to monetize people's monetize attention on the internet. And sometimes these not so obvious ways to monetize attention or traffic is very, very, very lucrative. That's one thing to keep in mind.
I know information and I'm providing. There are also high-level consultants who do the same thing. Information is valuable. We live in the age of information. Another thing I want you to write down your notes. Some of the two most important things in the world today are information and attention. If you have information and you can get attention, you will be rich. Because if you can get attention, people are going to pay attention to you. And if you have information to give them, you're going to be rich. This webinar is an example of.
Most of your journey of making money on the internet is your journey of figuring out how to get attention on the internet. That's essentially 80% of the battle.
How me, a person who can attract attention, who has information, can make money. So information for money is better than time for money. Now, every single person sitting here, there must be something you know. You know something. You know something others don't know. It doesn't matter if it's how to play guitar, doesn't matter if it's how to play piano, doesn't matter if it's how to fix a car, doesn't matter what it is. You must have some information that other people find useful.
I certainly did not have information that other found useful, not to the extent that I could start a business with. So it's kind of, for most people, unrealistic to assume that you have information that other are willing to pay money with. It's sometimes that's very, very difficult to create or fine tune or mine. And for most beginners, like y'all just don't have that kind of time to be wasting. So y'all need to model after something that's already working instead of trying to reinvent the wheel. So although I understand Andrew's advice here, that's how you can start a business. I wouldn't recommend starting from scratch as a beginner. Find something that's already working and duplicate it. So for me, what I recommend for most people is selling customer information in the business model of lead generation, particularly doing lead generation for small businesses.
That information can be weaponized and it can be turned into money. We're gonna get into how to do that later, but it's not actually very complicated. You need to garner attention. You need to produce the videos or the subject material or the PDF.
Again, most people are not experts in anything because y'all went through traditional education, and the traditional education did not teach us with anything valuable that the marketplace needs or wants. The marketplace is already far, far more ahead in its time and advanced in terms of like the knowledge that's available on the internet. The current education system is 10, 15 years behind. So most of us do not have valuable information or knowledge or experience or wisdom that we can actually monetize. At least most people in today's generation that are thinking about going to college or graduated from college, or maybe even 5-10 years into a workplace.
Yeah, so whatever you want to do, explain to people what you know. You need to establish credibility so they understand that they can trust you and they will pay for your information. This is another way to get money, information. So keep that in mind, write that down. Because when you write down your piece of paper information, you also need to sit and think, what do I know that other people don't know?
Most people will, I would presume 80% of the people will not be able to go any further on this step, again, because they don't have any information worth anything in the marketplace. Just go learn a skill. Go become a master at generating traffic, particularly where the money is exchanging hands, which is where there are buyers and then there are service providers that are needing that service. And then if you can place yourself in the middle of a buyer and a service provider and become the middleman and be a lead generator, you can make money in so many different ways.
So there must be something you know, and that information is valuable. You have to convince people it's valuable and to come and buy it from you. Next, this is what most businesses do. They provide a product or a service for money. Now, this is different from information because even though if you provide a service, you have information. Let's say you fix cars. You know how to fix cars. You have that information. But you're not selling the information. You're selling the service, which is different. The information would be selling me a book on how to fix my own car. The service is coming here and to fix it for me. So a product or service selling for money. This is very, very simple. This is what most businesses do. They get a product or a service and they sell it for a market. Now, this is
The problem with selling a service, of course, is once you do the service, then that customer doesn't have to pay you anymore. The customer is out of your life, right? Then so you have to continually find new customers to provide a one-time service, and you get paid for that service, but there's just this ongoing work that you have to put into a business like that. And it turns if you're not careful, that kind of business can turn into another job. Instead of the business working for you, you're working for the business. You know, imagine being in a business where you're constantly having to repair people's cars. You know, now the business has employed you, and you're still trading time for dollars. Even if you become like a digital marketing, SMMA, social media marketing expert or agency, every client you get, you have to do certain tasks for that client. Well, is that really a scalable business? Because now the client has become your new employer and you're working for that employer, that client. So it's important to understand this is why we created our local lead generation business model in the way in which we did, which is we are creating digital assets that generate ongoing leads, and then we're selling the information. So it's service. We're providing a service at the end of the day to small business owners, but we combined it with the aspect of selling information. So we're not just doing a one-time service. We're only selling the leads to our clients. So the business owner has to continually buy the leads or the information from us on an ongoing, like, subscription-based basis, so that we turn one client essentially into a long-term paying customer.
Actually, this is the way that most mega businesses make money, but in the modern world, it's quite difficult to do. And it's difficult to do because most products and services are monopolized. They're monopolized because everyone's already selling everything. And we live in a global economy now. And there's no product you can think of that I can't go to Amazon.com and find cheaper from China, and they'll sell it at a 1 penny, maybe 2 penny markup. So the product route is getting harder unless you're very, very unique and you build a brand, which is something we're going to get into. The service is fine, but you know what the problem with service is? Service is, once again, linked to your time. If you're providing a service, you're still giving up your time for money. Do you understand? So the product angle is difficult, the service angle is difficult, the time angle is difficult. So far, the only angle we have will allow you to make money scalable out and beyond is information for money.
Yes, again, he went back to information as being scalable, but again, of course, the problem with just selling information is the competition. Why would I go to this person to learn how to play the violin when I can go to another person all across the country or the world that can also teach me a better skill, and that person has a better reputation? The reason why service is so great is most services are local, and local, there's a lot less competition, right? A local service. So this is why we created lead generation, where we combine the advantages of both selling information plus service, which is local. So we do local lead generation. So instead of having to compete selling information with people from all over the world, we only have to compete with selling information locally in our local cities and towns and markets. And actually, it doesn't matter where you live. We can target any city all across the US and in the world and go and dominate a local market and then sell information. Everything Andrew is saying is correct, but Andrew is not pointing out that there are business models that's combining the best of both worlds in a few different arenas and creating a much more easier business to penetrate and dominate with.
Next, putting something else to do the work for you. Now, this is what corporations and the mega rich people do.
This is now, I assume he's going to get into creating leveraged income, creating digital assets that do the work for you.
They either get people to work for them or they get their money to work for them.
Okay, it's called leveraging human capital, which is what he just said, getting people to work for you, or getting money to do the work for them, which is it's called high leveraged, high return investments. But there's also another way to leverage other things to make money for you, which is to leverage media or code.
So to keep their time free, they make other people or other things give up their time.
This is what Andrew has done successfully in his career, and I would argue that this is Andrew's number one skill, is to get other people to work for him, because he has natural charisma and talent, and he has very high leadership type of energy, and he is using these natural born gifts to exercise the leverage of human capital, which is how he created his webcam empire. He had all these women doing webcams for him. This could not have been done by anybody. It requires somebody like Andrew Tate with his natural born personality traits.
A company will come along. Let's look at the slides. A company will come along with a service. It will advertise its service. It will then hire people, number one. It will get people to work for them. And then those people will give up their time in exchange for a wage, give up their time in exchange for a wage, and the company will keep money. So the owner of that company, although he has to manage things, his time is not explicitly linked to income. Now the super wealthy, what the super wealthy people do is,
there's still a challenge to leveraging human capital, because it's difficult to control human capital. Therefore, again, you need high-level leadership qualities in you to properly manage and leverage human capital.
Get their money to work for them. And if your money works for you, it's even better than people, because people need to be managed a lot more than money.
I don't think you cannot get away from exercising leverage of human capital, because that's how you create, a scalable business. You can't create a scalable business by yourself at the end of the day. So it's kind of like delusional to think that you can just exercise, get money to work for you only. You need other people to manage your money, and the bigger your empire becomes, you need more and more people to help you manage different things and watch over different things.
Your money doesn't need to be managed. Money just works. So if you have millions of dollars and you put them in at 10%, you can get a 10% return, or even a 3% return. You're going to be rich on the interest without doing anything. So making your money make you money is great, but you can only live off this money.
You should only exercise this leverage of leveraging money, which is high return investments, only when you have built a scalable business, and that scalable business is producing more money than you know what to do with. So I like to call this the wealth triangle, which is 3 different ways of making money, which is high income skill set, scalable business, and high return investments. So high return investments, you should not be touching that if you don't have a high income skill or scalable business, and that scalable business is cranking out more money than you know what to do with. Then is the right time to start making these kind of more long-term investments that might make you back 10% of the money. But prior to that though, if you learn a high income skill like lead generation, and you build a scalable business with it, like a scalable lead generation business, your money is better spent or better reinvested back into that scalable business, because that scalable business will bring back a lot more than 10%.
If you already have a lot of money. So let's go back through and analyze. Getting people to work for you is complicated setup, because you actually need to sell a product or service to get most people to work for you. Also, you need to people manage. So for a long period of time, you're not going to have your time free. This is the first thing. Second thing, getting your money to work for you, you need a lot of money to live off the work your money does. You need a lot of money to get this to happen. Most people don't have enough money to put their money to work to live off it. Now, you still should put your money to work. I want to talk about that. You can't live off your money working.
Yeah, so basically I kind of agree with what everything Andrew Tate just talked about. But I think what was kind of missing for me is that there is a order in which you should approach these different forms of making money. And, he kind of just listed all as different ways to make money, but there's also kind of a succession that one should go through. And the first one is you need a high income skill. and you should go learn a high income skill, whether that be learning to edit videos so you can become a YouTuber, or edit videos for other people, or do sales so you can sell your own product, sell your own information, or go sell for other people. These are different ways that you can use your time to start generating high income, which is at least going to be like 6 figures, which is going to give you the comfort zone. And you can then take the money that you are making from these skill sets like SEO, sales, or digital marketing skills, or video editing skills, and then save some of that money to then invest it into a scalable business. I would recommend some sort of a digital marketing business. My recommendation is Local Lead Generation. I left the link in the description, but a scalable business like that, where now you're starting to leverage some human capital, because you're going to have, once you get a few clients, and like small business clients, you'll have enough like cash flow coming in where you can hire some people, hire perhaps virtual assistants from the Philippines that you're paying, $5 to $7 an hour. Now you're creating more leverage. Maybe you might hire some salespeople, some managers. Now you have a business that can almost run on its own, and you're just sort of managing. And then that scalable business, you can continue to grow it, but you got more money coming in. Then you have to understand that you need the ability to try to replicate yourself in the best way possible. And that is to understand that, things that make you more difficult to replace in the long term. So this is things like creating a personal brand, whether that be you go hard on TikTok or YouTube, start producing videos, creating your own channel, creating your own influence, getting fans, telling the world more about your expertise. And when you can position yourself as more and more of an expert, you can command higher dollars in the marketplace. So that might lead to you starting your own coaching program and selling information, which is a more scalable business than a digital marketing type of business, because now instead of having to do work for every client, now you can sell information, right? But not everybody is built to be a coach or a content creator. It takes a special passion and drive and some talent to do that. But it's still valuable to create that personal brand, because even in a digital marketing agency sense, like it'll still allow you to command top dollars for your services. But also just understanding the power of creating digital assets, again, digital clones of yourself. So whether that be creating a website, and you have a team that continuously creates content on this website that can go out there and generate traffic for you for years and years to come, or you learn to create video that create traffic for you for years and years to come. It's important to create these digital assets that you own and control, not just doing a service for these clients. Because the problem with just sticking to digital marketing services is, if a client was to fire you or let you go, then you can lose all the hard work that you put in for that client. So it would be highly advisable and wise to take some of the money that you're making from these clients and reinvesting it back into creating your personal brand, or some sort of digital assets that you own and control. That way, even if every client was to fire you, worst case scenario, if everybody was to fire you, you still have this huge collection of videos and content and articles and social media pages that you have built over time, that nobody can take away from you. And that is worth worth in gold. It's weight in gold, right? Because now you can leverage these digital assets to quickly get into other verticals or other business models, because you're essentially creating a digital footprint of your expertise and your success. And this makes you as the brand more viable long term. So yeah, I think in that context, again, in conclusion, there's different ways to make money online. At first, you want to trade time for dollars, but I recommend learning digital marketing skills. And one of the best digital marketing skill is lead generation, because it allows you to leverage also selling information aspect of it, instead of just providing one-time services. And this is why I recommend the local lead generation business, which we have a coaching program for that, and I left the link in the description. So again, all of this to me explains why, again, local lead generation is one of the best business models out there for complete beginners. All right, I'll see you on the next video.